Okay, the plan for today is going to be really simple. We're just going to go kind of right through the Katha Upanishad from start to finish, and I'll highlight some passages and ideas along the way that I feel might be kind of important. I'd like to also see if you think there's some other ideas and passages that you find illuminating or interesting, thought-provoking, maybe even ones that are confusing or hard to grasp, because everything that you see will help us make better sense of this complicated ancient philosophical text. Okay, so let's get started. The Upanishads tell a lot of stories inside them, right? But the Katha is kind of unusual because it's just one big story that frames the Upanishad itself. And then inside of this big story, one of the characters, Yama, the god of death, delivers a whole bunch of kind of philosophical sermons. So it's more like the story contains the Upanishad rather than the Upanishad containing stories. The story itself is about a boy named Nachiketas, who's the son of a Vedic Brahmin named Ushan. Ushan was a prolific sacrificer, and at one time, when Nachiketas was still an adolescent, his father decided to conduct like a really big sacrifice. This particular sacrifice called for the slaughter of a whole bunch of cows, and instead of offering his strong and healthy cows, Ushan sacrificed only his weak and feeble ones that are about to die anyway. Nachiketas saw this. He calls his dad out on his hypocrisy, but his dad, he's getting kind of annoyed at his son being such a stickler for the rules, and so he just tells him to go to hell, basically. So let's see how this transpires in the text. Ushan, the son of Vajashravas, once gave away all his possessions. He had a son named Nachiketas. Young as he was, faith took hold of him while the cows presented as sacrificial gifts were being led away. And he reflected. They've drunk all their water, eaten all their fodder. They've been milked dry. They're totally barren. Joyless are the worlds called to which a man goes who gives these as gifts. So he asked his father, Father, whom will you give me? He repeated it for a second time, and again for a third time. His father yelled at him, I'll give you to death. Now, since he's made this kind of vow, his son just had to follow it so that it wouldn't be that his dad would tell a lie. Right? So as he sets off to go to the house of death, to the house of the god Yama, Nachiketas offers a kind of plaintive poem of parting. I go as the first of many, I go as the middlemost of many. What's it that Yama must do that he will do with me today? It's a question that's on everyone's mind, right? What's going to happen to us when we meet death? Here's Nachiketas way back in like 500 BC asking that same question. The boy then eventually arrives at the house of Yama, but the god of death isn't home. He's out on business, I guess. There's a lot to take care of for the god of death. So being a good boy, Nachiketas waits there patiently for 3 whole days. When Yama does come back, he sees the boy sitting outside, and he's realized he's made a really grave mistake, right? He's left a Brahmin to go hungry in his house for 3 days. It's like one of the worst things you can do. So in compensation, he offers Nachiketas 3 wishes. Let's see how this part of the story is told now. As the Upanishad tells it, you're going to see it's pushing by some Brahminical social ideology as well before getting to the philosophical bits. Hopes and expectations, fellowship and goodwill, children and livestock, rights and gifts. All these a Brahmin wrests away from that foolish man in whose house he resides without any food. Death then says to Nachiketas, 3 nights, O Brahmin, you stayed in my house, a guest worthy of homage, without any food. 3 wishes, therefore, deign to make in return. So homage to you, O Brahmin, and may I fare well. In other words, even the god of death has to respect Brahmins and make sure that they're fed, right? Talk about kind of subtle forms of social elitism, right? Now, What were those 3 wishes that Nachiketas asked for? Well, we're going to be taking up that fascinating part of the story in our next segment, so stay tuned and see you soon.